Good evening, and thank you for tuning in again and Grabs TV and the Sicko Show. I'm your host, the Matty Man, and I have been asked to do this, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it before I went to bed. We're going to take a look at the Raw preview, or what I like to call the Raw Fallout, from SummerSlam on Saturday, and it looks like we're starting off here some ideas with some title changes here. Obviously, Gunther's going to be live. We haven't been told as of yet whether Damian Priest is going to be live, but we do know Gunther's going to be live. We do know that Ludwig Kaiser is going to be there, and we do know that Sheamus will be there as well. There is rumors that we may see a Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser match. If that happens, I'm calling Sheamus for this one because I think they're doing 33 and a third booking on this. I won't even say 50-50 booking like we talk about all the time. I'm feeling like a 33 and a third booking on this one, and I think it's Sheamus' turn to win. So if Sheamus is available and ready, I do believe that Sheamus will be declared the winner if this match does indeed happen. I also have a rumored match between AOP and the New Day with somebody. We're not sure yet whether it's going to be a tag team match or if it's going to be a six-man. If it is a six-man, then absolutely AOP and Karrion Kross will carry the day on this. They are coming up on the top end of this angle, and I do not see any 50-50 booking on this one, because otherwise it would probably kill the momentum from last week. So if AOP and New Day is a six-man tag, I'm looking at it as being Karrion Kross and getting the actual pin to continue this angle. If it is a tag team match, then it's a 50-50 shot here. I don't know who would be on the side of the New Day unless they've decided that Kofi Kingston has been medically cleared to be in the match. Then it's still going to be 50-50 booking since the New Day carried the last, actually since Karrion Kross carried the last match, then New Day would probably go over AOP if it were a simple tag match. All right, so we're also going to have the Wyatt Six in action against the Creed brothers and Chad Gable. I don't even want to get started on how this match is going to go out, but if I had to make a prediction, between the Wyatt Six, this is going to be a tight one to call here. I'm going to roll the dice and say that Chad Gable gets the actual pinfall, because they've been trying to get this angle off the ground, and they've been constantly burying the Wyatt Six. So it just makes sense that Chad Gable would actually pick up the pin. If that doesn't happen, that's why they call this a prediction. You know, that's why they call it fishing and not catching. All right, guys? So, prediction there, Chad Gable and the Creed brothers go over the Wyatt Six. Strange prediction, I know. Dakota Kai and Sonya Deville. In my estimation, this match goes only two ways. Number one, if Dakota Kai is on her way out, and I'm saying that out loud in public, not really caring. If Dakota Kai is on her way out, this will be a squash match. Sonya Deville will have it knocked out in 3 minutes or less with commercials. And if Dakota Kai is indeed still with the company, because I have to question some things sometimes. First, they don't put her on television. When they do put her on television, it's for that big L. So, if Dakota Kai is still with the company, if that is the case, then I have to say that without a shadow of a doubt, if Dakota Kai does not beat Sonya Deville, she's enhancement talent at this point, and that's not right. But given the case that she's not had any major marquee wins, and given the case that Sonya Deville is just recently coming back, and they're not really sure how this angle's going at this moment, I would look for Dakota Kai to have not a complete convincing victory. Like, it's not going to be a squash at all. But I would give, if Dakota Kai is still with the company, guys, you have to pull the trigger. You have to give her a win. This is a marquee win right here. This would be a marquee win. Dakota Kai has to have this win. But tomorrow night is going to tell me whether she's still with the company or not. And I don't really care about contract length at this point. I care about how they're going to use her going forward. And Dakota, let me tell you something. If you actually do bother to stumble across this video, I'm going to tell you something straight up. I admire your work. I admire your longevity. I admire your ability to come back from injury. And if anybody in this fucking world needs to go bet on themselves, if you take that L tomorrow night, start betting on yourself. Pull you a Cody Rhodes if you have to. WWE, Dakota Kai is immensely talented. All of Damage Control, all the time, everywhere, is immensely talented. I don't see why in the world you're so hard up to give them a win. I wouldn't be hard up with it. I'd book her over Lyra Valkyria all day, every day, 3 times on Sunday and twice on a holiday. No pause. Not sorry. Not sorry at all. And this is why I didn't want to do this review show, because I was worried I was going to go out on a rant, because I do believe in the abilities of Dakota Kai. And I've also seen her come back from an injury that I too myself have had. So I know how much pain she went through. I know how much work she went through. I know how she's paid the price. Paul, I ain't calling you Triple H right now, because this is man to man. Paul, if you mean a speck of dog shit to professional wrestling at all, you need to start booking her heavy, not light, and they don't need to be 50-50s. This is a star you can build that loves your company. You can build her big. Take that as you will, Paul. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, moving forward. WWE is obviously going to start their build-up to Bash in Berlin on August 31st. And it's August 5th right now. So imagine the stuff that's going to get crammed down our throat for the next 3 weeks. So what I'm looking for out of that is I'm looking for a Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley rematch, because I do believe that this has got some fuel for fire right here. I believe that this has the potential to be a storyline that could at least compete on Raw with the Bloodline. And it would be a welcome distraction from the 65 dudes you got at the top of the ladder trying to be World Heavyweight Champion and the 65 women on the women's side. Gives you an opportunity to clearly define a feud. And it's something that for a very long time, with the exception of the Bloodline, you guys have had very heavy problems building feuds and building them correctly. You have a shot right here to pull this off. Bash at Berlin, it needs to happen. We need to have Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and we need to dial that motherfucker up another notch. It ain't dialed up hot enough just yet. I need Damian Priest making moves, and I need Jey Uso jumping in there to help out Rhea Ripley against that. I need Jey Uso to throw that man card out there instead of going yeet. How about you go in there and you do what you're supposed to do? Go in there and be a man, man. If you want that, if you want it, if you really want it. Men are watching you right now. Now, the girls are watching you too. But I'm telling you, this needs to be an ongoing feud. This is something you have a potential with. And guess what? It's with the women's division. What a thought. What a plan. What a plan. If you're going to fire cannonballs back, instead of doing this lame bullshit with numbers and stuff, how about go hard for a change? Give us a solid women's feud that anybody can sink their teeth into. Because I can tell you right now, there's I can name 50 dudes off the top of my head on my timeline that would kill to be Dominic right now, and they're going to be booing the loudest whenever he opens his mouth, but they'd kill to be him. And believe it or not, I can name 50 women that would kill to be Rhea or Liv in this situation right now. You got something. If I can name 50 anonymous people, you're onto something here. But don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it. That's the part that's going to bother me. Because you have an opportunity right now to actually build two superstars. And you have an opportunity to build a megastar. Now show us that you are all about that thing, that inclusion, that this for that you're going to push. Because believe it or not, this is where Tony's killing you. Tony's killing you because he's successfully pushing a main roster men's angle and a women's angle at the same time. That way, if something's falling flat this week, we got this. And if that falls flat, we got this. You know what? If you push this Liv Rhea with Dominic in the middle, I mean, it's some 90210 shit, don't get me wrong, but you killed two birds with one stone, player. Seriously, you killed two birds with one stone with this move. So if you don't build this and you let this go cold like you did with LA Knight, I mean, he's over in spite of you. In spite of everything. LA Knight is over. And he's over because he bets on himself. Dakota Kai, listen to me. He bet on himself. Screw this Max Dupree bullshit running around with, don't get me wrong, Maxine is great. She's building, doing well, not good for his profile. Just wasn't a match. He said, screw this, I'm going to go be LA Knight. This is what I'm going to be. Bet on himself, won. He's got a title. Dakota, come on, get with me on this. But come on, man, Triple H, seriously. Show these people that you can run two quality storylines at one time. The rest of these are just filler storylines. Don't get me wrong. I love Karrion Kross. Not in a crazy, creepy way or nothing like that. But Karrion Kross is that one athlete that I know is underpushed and could be pushed correctly, could be a megastar for you. I know he could. He's got it. Dakota Kai. Y'all, where are you going with this? Dakota Kai is a star. She could be a star anywhere. I bet you if she slipped down to TNA, I bet you if she did that and went down there and made something out of herself like, oh, I don't know, Swerve Strickland went to AEW and made himself the world champion. That's definitely a fumbled football. Do you need another one? And the movement behind her, good Lord, every Monday Night Raw, social media is lit up for Dakota Kai. So stop bullshitting around, Paul. Pull the trigger. Man to man. No pause. I stand on that. If I saw you in person, I'd say it with a microphone in front of everybody and dare somebody to laugh. That's a fact. Get Natalya back out there on television, son. You got her signed to a contract. Let her get out there and work with some of these women. Let her get them up to her standard. You could build this stuff, man. You could do this. It's an impassioned plea. That and $5 will get me a Happy Meal at McDonald's. But anyway, Ludwig Kaiser, creative. Either shit or get off the pot, okay? Dead serious on this one. Same thing with Sheamus. If you're going to keep him around and you're going to use him like that, at least present him like that. You know, like you did with Fit Finlay. You presented him like that. And yeah, Fit got his wins. But yeah, Fit was able to train these guys in the ring, make better wrestlers. But if that's what you're going to do, by God, go ahead and present it that way. But you need these folks back on television. Us old timers are looking at some of these young kids and the steps that they miss. No offense, guys. I can't do what you do in the ring. I'm qualifying everything I'm saying right here. I am not judging you. I'm just calling it like I see it, like an analyst. Nothing personal. I love every one of you. But just go ahead, by all means, Paul. This is how you can build. And I'll go out when I get ready to do my Collision or my Dynamite preview. I'm going to have the exact same conversation for Tony Khan. Just so y'all don't think I'm sitting here playing favorites. I will say something about AEW when it bothers me. And this same scenario bothers me with them. But you got Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia. Those are two that I can think of off the top of my head that will be major, mega, international stars in your women's division. That brings me right back around to this Liv and Rhea angle. You could put so many eyes on this division, then you can drop Stephanie and Giulia in there. And oh my God, it would be off to the races. You would actually have a product that would succeed in spite of you. And it would succeed in all the right ways. I love WWE for the cinema part of it. I love AEW for the wrestling part of it. I love AEW more than I love WWE because they put more effort into what they present to be their brand than WWE. And that's a fact. Y'all been eating Alpo over there for so fucking long, you wouldn't know a steak if it smacked you in the fucking head. And that's a fact. That's why I don't do reviews for WWE anymore, because it gets me to thinking about everything that could be and is not. And I'm staying within the genre, within the time frame, within the actual scope of work that you do as a company. I'm not infusing AEW, oh, we need more wrestling, we need blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not even doing that. You can still do the vignettes. You can do all that crap. You can do the 30 promos. But at least you could be building a different storyline. At some point in time, everyone's going to be tired of the bloodline. The bloodline originally is what held me on to watching WWE's product, but then it got boring and it got predictable. Now, for everybody who can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, absolutely nothing. When you get to SmackDown on Friday, if you cannot predict that Roman Reigns will make a pop-in, and I think we're going to get Tala Tonga and maybe even get Zilla Fatu, I wouldn't be surprised. If you think for 1 minute that's not what's going to happen, and then they're going to expose that Timu bloodline plus Jacob, I don't put Jacob in that one. No, I don't. Jacob is not, in my estimation, because Jacob is a wrestler. Jacob is an orator in whatever language he needs to be an orator in. If he's in the hood, he's a fucking speaker. And if he's in Queens or in upstate New York, he's an orator. He's what he needs to be on that mic, where he's at, reading that room, everything. In my estimation, my opinion, Jacob Fatu is his own bloodline opposed to the bloodline you got him stuck in right now. So here's how Friday's going to break down, because I will make this prediction. Roman's going to roll in there, and he's going to have a couple of surprises with him to match. And he ain't going to really need much Solo, because Solo, God, damn, dude. Anyway, but that's going to build towards Bash at Berlin, too, because we could get a teaser for that. So while I'm talking about the building towards the Bash at Berlin, it's an automatic inclusive moment in my life where I have to say, we can't have one without the other, because all of them are going to be together, and all of them should be, if you knew how to book it, they should all be interwoven. so that if one part is missing, something else can cover it up. But you don't do it that way. You pick one thing, you ride that horse until the motherfucker ain't got legs anymore. And then you kick it to the side and you start experimenting by throwing spaghetti at the wall. Next thing you know, it's stupid. You got one in your hands right now. Just go ahead and build it. You got Liv, you got Rhea, you got Dominic. On the flip side of that, you got Damian Priest dealing with the other three. This is this is an opportunity, a very golden opportunity, to just get out there and build something that people can start sinking their teeth into. Yes, you're cinema. Yes, you do promos. Yes, you are a show about wrestling. So, motherfucker, be a show about wrestling. But have some good plots. You got plenty of storylines you're not even using. There's plenty of them. Just step into that part. So the other thing I'm thinking about at Bash in Berlin is I don't know if we get a run back of Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Drew, you signed on the dotted line, McIntyre. If we don't, maybe they could let this storyline breathe for a month. You know, a great scotch that has a good headspace on it. The headspace tastes really, really good. Then you cork it back up and you put it back up on the shelf for a couple of weeks. That's a little tip for the scotch drinkers out there, by the way. Because when you let that thing breathe with the initial headway, it pulls that in there, and then it digests what it pulled in, and it makes the rest of the batch. It just adds a little something to it. Try it sometime. You could do that with this. You could let this breathe. Then what I would do, since it's clear that you're not going to put Tiffany in the title just yet, and by the time it does come her turn, Stephanie and Giulia will be up to the main roster, and then Tiffy who? At least for me, I mean, you got to have something better than looks in the ring to make me like you as a better wrestler than the two that I know are coming. You got to have a whole lot more going for you than that. You got to have some prowess. You got to have more than 5 moves. But anyway, that's a good potential right there. You could let Tiffany actually breathe a little bit and start feeling the briefcase thing. I don't know. This might wind up being one of those year-long things where she cashes in at the last minute too. But you could let that one breathe a little bit. You could even throw a little tag action if you want to protect Nia for a month. At least she would have been in practice and in action and so on and so forth. If you want to protect her for like a month, you could do a tag match like that. You could even throw EST and Jade. Because they need to be as far away from those titles as possible. You are leaving millions of dollars on the table every month that those two are together and not fighting. Covalent TV says it all the time. I agree with them. I'm going to sound the horn for it as well. That being said, I might just have to stop right here because I'm already like almost 25 minutes into what I wanted to be a 5-minute review. Monday Night Raw I will be tuned in for mainly because I like to follow the Covalent TV and I follow their show when I get off. And so, you know, it's helpful to get a general idea of what they're going to talk about. Prepares me for their show. And also it gives me some ideas as to what you're doing. I will be covering day 2 of the Great American Bash, NXT. So guys, you better bring it because I'm going to be surgical like a motherfucker on this if it comes out the way I think it's going to come out. So anyway, y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching this far. Thanks for supporting Graps TV. Thank you for supporting the Sicko Show. Thank you for everything. I'm getting viewers now, and I'm loving it. Thank you very much. I look forward to bringing you some good content. Have a good night.